So, welcome back to the show. This is Rico Limbaugh, and I have been seeing clips and hearing about this conviction about the fake UPS drivers who committed a triple murder. And the only people they left behind that were alive were the two toddlers and the dog. But the parents and I believe it's the older brother, they murdered in cold blood. Now, if this was the other way around, if three white people showed up to a black home, murdered three black adults and left the black kids, this would be not just nationwide news, worldwide news. They would swear that it was coordinated by the KKK. They would say things like these are the hallmarks of white supremacy, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. But for some odd reason, this story is getting little to minimum coverage, no press conferences, just being swept under the rug. Because, my friend, these are the members of their army, their black army that the media covers up for. They don't want to alert the public that their army or people from their demographic that they've radicalized are dangerous. They want you to think that they're perfectly fine and perfectly safe. They are not. The media is lying to you. So we're going to go through this video. I'll be honest, it's really hard to avoid this unless you're just extremely paranoid or you're on guard. But we'll see where the mistakes were made.
Hey, come here, kid. Come here, buddy. Come here.
On January 26th, 2024, a family of five.
And by the way, there's some gruesome footage in this, but they're letting me play it on YouTube. So I'm going to try to pass by anything too graphic.
A father, a mother, their 20-year-old son, and two young children under the age of 5 were living a normal day inside their home on 94th Avenue Northwest in Coon Rapids, Minnesota, completely unaware of what was coming their way. As a navy blue Nissan Altima pulled up outside, and 3 suspects stepped out, 2 of them dressed in UPS-style uniforms.
Now, some people are saying that they should have noticed there wasn't a UPS truck, and then there's a guy with a full face covering wearing the outfit, but there are companies that hire drivers to do package delivery, and these people use their own cars. They're independent contractors. That's kind of difficult to decide which one is which, but just remember, you have been desensitized by the media. You have been convinced that you're not supposed to be suspicious of black people at all. So even if you notice 3 black guys with their faces covered wearing UPS uniforms jumping out of a fucking Altima, well, you'd be considered racist if you didn't just ignore them, open up your door, let them just come in with guns. If you protect yourself, if you use pattern recognition, if you applied a little bit of racism, which would have triggered just enough skepticism to not open the door, to scream for help, to alert people that, hey, there's something wrong. But you're scared to. You've been reduced to a person that is just going to wait for one of them to consider to make you a victim one day. That's a shame.
Pretending to be delivery workers while secretly planning a robbery. A plan that would, within minutes, explode into a brutal encounter that would shock the entire community.
Our coverage is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. A crash.
4.
Canto.
And they were initially leaving at first. Maybe they were going to give up. But everyone should know the rules. There are certain people you're supposed to never open your door for. There are certain people you're supposed to apply a little bit of caution when you see them. The news is going to tell you that that's racism. Everyone's going to tell you to let your guard down. Rico Limbaugh is going to tell you to tell those people to go to hell, and you have to do what's the smart thing to protect you and your children because, well, if these people wipe you out, what are your children going to do? And that's if they even let your children live, which is not even a guarantee. Remember, in the music, they glorify killing families and kids. So that's not even a guarantee your kids are going to survive.
One of the victims steps out, apparently completely unaware the delivery is a setup.
Unassuming, not racist, too trusting, not enough skepticism cost his brother and his brother's wife their lives and their whole family destroyed because this man right here did not have enough racism in his body to say, you know what, leave the package at the door. We're not opening the door, leave the package. And thank you very much for dropping off the package. But why are you allowing two black men to follow you up a driveway with your back turned? You're just so trust. You just saw what happened to the Ukrainian girl. You just see what happened to these women on the subways and all these other places where there's been all this crime and murder and death. There's one common denominator in all of these stories. And you not only follow them down to the end of the driveway and you turn into fucking Ned Flanders and you're like, hey, come on in, neighbor Reno. Come on in here. We got kids. You like kids? Come on in. A little bit of racism would have triggered a little bit of skepticism, and your family will still be alive.
Ain't no big dog here. Ain't no big dog here. Not yet. Hey, check out. Come on, don't move. Don't move. Move your hand. Move your hand. Open the door. Move like that. Open the door.
And this is when you have to understand that your life is not worth risking the life of everyone else. He should have took the keys out of his pocket, threw them in the ditch, and said, fucking kill me now outside in front of everybody before I open up the door and let you into my home where we have children. You would have had to kill me right there on the porch. I would have died in front, broad daylight. I would have had to die outside. You would have had to kill me outside. I would have never in a million years risked letting these men roll the dice and gamble and decide if they're going to wipe my whole family or not. Because that's all it is. Now you're at their mercy. They can say, you know what, let's flip a coin. You're such a coward. You're so afraid of death. And you're so trusting of these black delivery drivers that instead of saying, here go the keys to the house, throwing the keys, closing your eyes and then saying a prayer, you actually let them in the house where your young children are and your brother and your dad and his wife. This is embarrassing. This is disgusting. This is horrible.
The home security camera captures the third suspect come up the driveway.
And look, you think they care about cameras? What do you think? What do you even have the cameras for? That's not going to make a difference. Yeah, they're going to go to jail, but you're dead. It's not the cameras that's got to save you. You have to save you. This is America. We're not supposed to lean on the police. You are expected to be your own first line of defense. There are no police anymore. Police are not even allowed to arrest black people in a lot of jurisdictions no more. Those days are over. You have to be the police. You have to protect yourself. You know, this video is not necessarily content. This is more so a PSA. It's a wake-up call. We're not in Kansas anymore. You're going to have to change everything about yourself if you're going to survive. The first thing that you're going to have to change, you got to purify your mind of all this liberal, diversity, loving, all this Democrat bullshit. You must purge it out of your mind. It was installed in your mind to disarm you so that you will let your guard down. And you know what happens when you let your fucking guard down? This is what happens. I'm angry because I don't know. There's kids here and a dog. Where's the dog going to live? The kids are probably going to go stay with family. Dog's going to probably go to a shelter. This is bad all around.
After he's waved in by the other men.
You never comply. You never let them in the house. You fight like hell if you get in. There is no being taken hostage. The odds of them allowing you to live in a home invasion it's slim to none. Because why would you, knowing that you could probably identify their voice or point them out in a lineup? They can't do that. They don't do these types of missions thinking that they're going to leave witnesses behind. Maybe one of them chickened out when it came to the kids, but not even the kids are even going to be guaranteed. Yeah. You know what, Joe? You can say what you want to say, but in a situation like this, these people, you're calling them victims now. That was a choice. There could have only been one victim. That was the son outside. The door was locked. He had to literally pull the keys out of his pockets to open the door. Everyone inside did not have to become a victim. There could have just been one victim. He could have screamed and threw the keys and forced them to make their move outside in front of everyone. But no, he quietly took the keys out of his pockets like a fucking coward, like you, and he opened the door. You and him are the same type of idiot.
Una pistola, mijo. Tienen una pistola, mijo. Dos morenos. Mom. Yeah. Please. Don't do anything.
The mother managed to call 911, leaving the line open so dispatchers could hear what was happening as the chaos unfolded.
911, what's the emergency? Hello?
Give me the money. And I ain't playing. Look, thank him and I know. Hey, Mario, Alberto, come on with the money, man.
Okay.
Stop playing with me.
Oh.
Give me the money. I'm going to smack out you.
I will give you whatever you want.
Go give me the money then.
Okay, that's
Come on. You get where you move to.
oh my God. I'm getting up.
I'm telling you, I'm going to smack out your son.
Oh, okay, I'm going.
Come on in. All right, where the money? Go get it. Go get it. Get it. Come on, open it. Don't move. Don't move. It's all right. Sit down. If you move, you don't open. Where is it? This ain't all the man. You gonna play with me, so I see I gotta go back.
No, please.
Okay.
That's all the money we have.
This ain't nothing. Okay.
With no mercy, one of the intruders turns on the father, 39-year-old Mario Alberto Trejo Estrada, and a single shot to the head ends his life in the entryway of the home.
And the son is still laying there. He's still laying there. He had a good 20 seconds to get up and to try to get away or try to get help. We're not serious enough in this country when it comes to understanding who the real threats are. People are telling you that there's an enemy within, but no one wants to be specific. People are always talking about civil war, but no one wants to be specific. No one wants to say exactly who we need guns for. No one wants to be specific and say exactly who we need to protect ourselves against. Everyone's so fucking scared and timid and willing to just lie and pretend everything's okay and everybody's safe and there's good people amongst you. When you got literal animals screaming for genocide against white people and these people, but yet if you say something against one of them, you're called racist. You know, again, this is a hate crime. If this was reversed, it would be a hate crime all over national news. But because the victims, because it's been reversed, they're sweeping it under the rug because they want these people to commit these crimes for them against their enemies, against their political enemies. So guess what? They don't want you to be afraid of them because they want copycats. They want it to keep happening. See, they're not afraid anymore because, well, who's going to show up and testify? There's a culture in America called the stop snitching. There are no witnesses sometimes. No one's going to come forward. You might get a conviction, but what if you get a liberal judge in 5 years who will grant an acquittal, give you time served, and release you back on the streets? That's the America we live in because these are their soldiers. These are the soldiers of the left, the media, the left. These are the people that they have radicalized. And they cover for them when they commit violence because they want them to only commit violence on their behalf for them against their enemies. So they run cover for them in between.
I have money for you.
The terrifying footage continues as the intruders turn their violence toward the mother.
The next time somebody calls me a racist, I'm going to tell them thank you for the fucking compliment. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It means I'm alert. It means I have basic pattern recognition skills. It means I'm not gullible or overly trusting. And it means you can't convince me to let my fucking guard down for one of you monsters to break into my home and slaughter me and my family for money. You don't know your neighbors, but they integrated you with them. You know when you're a kid and they tell you there's a monster under your bed, you didn't believe them, but there are monsters. They live across the street from you now. They live 5 minutes away. That's why a lot of us work hard so we can afford to get as fucking far away from these monsters as possible. The monsters you can't speak of without people calling you racist or claiming you're an oppressor or white supremacist or whatever they want to call you. All these buzzwords intended to mentally manipulate you into becoming so overly trusting that you'll open up your doors when black armed men are asking for entry into a house where your children are. And they want you to be so lovable and gullible that you happily take out the keys and let them in, because the TV said they're safe. They said if you cross the street when they're walking towards you, you're racist. If you don't trust them and don't want to be anywhere with them and you're actually actively looking to stay as far away from them as possible, maybe you're a white supremacist, so you're evil. So who's going to win? Your good God-given senses or the media propaganda? No one's calling this a hate crime, so I'll do it. This is a hate crime. I know it's a hate crime because I've seen it in reverse, and when it's even a parking dispute or a fist fight, and they screamed it was a hate crime to the depths of hell because they have a louder voice than you on Twitter and in the media. The propaganda is to demoralize you, but also desensitize you when you see them doing this to you to a point where it happens so often, you just change the channel. Well, not with me. I'm going to point it out to you. I'm going to explain all the details to you. We're going to talk about exactly why this could have been avoided. A little bit of racism could have saved the Ukrainian woman, Oktarina. A little bit of racism would have made her get on that train and seen all of those black faces sitting behind her and said, yeah, nope. I'll wait for the next train. I'll wait for the next bus. The woman that was just set on fire by that deranged black dude, if she would have had just a little bit of racism in her, she would have never been close enough to him in the first place. People keep forgetting the times we are in. I've been speaking since 2020. I've been telling people, hey, I'm noticing something really weird on the media, as far as social media, the television. I'm saying they're allowing people to say extremely evil, mean things about white people. It's like they're building a coalition, an army, but not just white people, but they're letting black people say anything they want to about anybody. And there's no enforcement. There's no blocking or banning. And actually, they're more mad at somebody like Candace Owens than they are going to be about these killers. And we've allowed it, and it's actually festered, and now it's just an everyday thing. Black Americans, black people in the United States, they don't call themselves Americans. They hate America, but they are rampant right now, and they know they can really get away with anything they want, and they are hunting down people all over the country. The crime, the violent crime, is not a statistic anymore when it's you or your family member. And, now we have surveillance footage. We have body cams. We're watching it every day. But you're still going to want to be liberal and accepting, and you don't want anybody to call you racist. I love when people call me racist. It makes me understand who my enemies are, because they're saying this to you to manipulate you. They want you to feel bad about not letting them do something to you, or not letting them get too close to you, or put in a position where they can harm you. So they don't like that. They want to have the advantage. You think everybody's your friend. I think everyone's my enemy. If the sun would have just realized who the enemies were, and that these people were not your friends, regardless of how many comedians and rappers you love, they are dangerous. If the sun would have just accepted that fact, he would have threw the keys in the ravine next to his house. He would have closed his eyes. He would have said, kill me now, because I know you people are merciless. You will show my family no mercy. But instead, he was trusting, and he was loving, and he hoped for the best. And now his family is done. This was optional. There were options. It's not even about victim blaming. The criminals are the blame. They're evil. They're monsters. But Whose fault is it that you're so afraid of what people are going to think about you if you call them monsters that you're not even afraid of them anymore? I remember 30 years ago, if you seen more than one walking down the street, you turn and walk the other way, you cross the street, you might grab your purse, you might call the police instantly. And then they started making comedies, making fun of you for being scared and paranoid. So I'm supposed to, wait a minute, so let me get this straight. You want to do a comedy segment because I'm paranoid about you guys being literally the only criminals in this fucking country that anyone has to worry about. None of my friends ever had a home invasion group of Vietnamese kids come in their house, tie them up, and kill them. It's never happened to any of my friends where a bunch of rogue white Vikings came through and did it. No Cambodians, nobody from Sri Lanka, definitely nobody from Bangladesh has ever tied up a bunch of black people, robbed them, killed. But I'm supposed to look at myself and be ashamed because, well, I see two of them inside this door inside this lobby, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'd rather wait for the next elevator. Matter of fact, I'd rather come back another day than even risk it. So now I'm the bad guy. I'm the racist. Call me what you want to. But if I can still hear you call me that, at least I'm alive. If you're not calling me that, that increases the odds of me being dead. I say that because I'm from Los Angeles, right? 100% of all the friends and family members I've ever met were killed by black people. 100%. Now that I'm doing the math and I'm going back through my history, drive-by shootings, murders, robberies, I don't have any non-black deaths. I don't have anybody I know that was not killed by somebody that was black. So I'm at 100%. And I'll be honest, most people will be at 100%. They're not going to say, actually, out of 20 people I know that have been killed, 5 were by Mexicans, 5 were by whites, 5 was by Chaldeans, which are, Arabs, and barely 5 were black. It's even. The murder is divided up. Everybody equally gets murder. That's what they want to convince you. And you're a fucking idiot if you listen. You have kids. Don't your kids need you? Okay. Why do you want to put your kids in danger? Do your kids go to school with their kids? That's already a security oversight. Do you hire, do they work at the daycare your kid works at? Another security oversight. Do you hire them to stay in your house and babysit? Are they nannies? Because these guys targeted them for money. How they know which house to go to? How they know you had any money? I mean, this is extreme, right? You only know these things when people get close to you. They got too close. They put on fake UPS outfits and they were able to get up your driveway, but it took the son to remove the keys from his pocket because they already have security. They have cameras all over the house, obviously, which is, it's getting more common, but it's rare. But when he stepped out that front door and followed them down the driveway, instead of wondering, why don't you just leave the package? But he's not thinking about that because he's so loving and trusting. He's so not racist that these men who you can see that they were black underneath these full fucking face covers, it's not a blizzard. You're not in the Siberian tundra. You are in Coon City, which is a weird name, right? We're in the world of coincidence. And you allowed them to, instead of taking the package at the end of the driveway and signing for it, you actually say, nah, come on in, neighborino. Let's walk back up to the front. There's kids. I would have never trusted anyone who looked like that to come. Why do you think we live where we live? Why do you think people have security? Is it to protect you from everybody? Or is it to protect you from specifically certain somebodies? The same certain somebodies that people say, well, you're racist if you say you need protecting from me. That's what the guys who just did all this killing said too. Like, are you gonna let somebody talk you into putting down your weapons and putting down your defenses and just walking in? That's all this propaganda is doing, right? When you turn on the news and they're calling you racist and people are on the internet, black people, you're racist, everybody's a racist. So fucking what? What's wrong with being racist? Tell me the problem. I don't see the problem anymore. Don't. Haven't for a while. I really only thought racism meant restriction. You know, hey, you can't eat, you can't drink from this water fountain, you can't eat in this restaurant. I'll be honest, I wouldn't even mind that anymore. I wouldn't even mind that. These people, man, these monsters in front of these kids, fucking monsters. But I'm not supposed to collectively punish. But wait a minute, you guys say that because somebody was a slave owner 200 years ago, all white people are slave owners. Isn't that collective punishment? See, I don't like double standards. I don't abide by them. Monsters isn't even the word. That's an understatement. For what I just saw, a monster we got to make new words. But we also got to do better. You got to be vigilant. You got to be smart. You got to be prepared for battle, because this is a war zone and you're surrounded. They're no longer in the hoods. In certain areas, they've spread out. They've expanded. They've been forced into other areas, forced integration. You know, diversity is a weakness when you think about it. Every DEI is put in certain businesses because they want to make the company weaker, not to make it stronger. Everywhere you see DEI in the country, it got worse. So I guess I'm the bad guy from pointing it out, right? I'm the bad guy for noticing. Well, say hello to the bad guy, because you'll never see another bad guy like this again, man. You know, share the video if you agree. If you don't agree, it's whatever. You know, like and subscribe if you want to. I mean, this is the kind of content I make. If you don't like it, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. If the shoe doesn't fit, you don't got to get in the comments and tell me, hey, not all of us. Prove it. But I mean, some of you are acting really guilty in the comments already. Why? If it doesn't apply to you, you know, why? If the shoe doesn't fit, why are you forcing it on? I mean, it seems like you have a guilty conscience. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you know, watching these videos, it's hard. You know, it should be hard for all of you, not just for me, because this could be any of us at any time, depending on your proximity. As far as I can tell, they don't ever travel more than 15 minutes to go and harm and kill people. It's usually within 15 minutes of where they live. So if you're outside of that, you're safe. But if there's families from that demographic within 15 minutes of where you live, beefing up your security isn't enough. You have to literally beef up your own mental and be prepared to go overboard, because you don't want to not do enough. But think about it. They're going to always say, oh, wait a minute. Just because I'm kicking on your door in the middle of the night doesn't mean I was about to break in and do a home invasion. I'm just doing ding dong ditch. It's a TikTok challenge. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm kicking your door with I got a gun, but it's a part of a challenge. So maybe it was a water gun. Yeah. So I'm supposed to believe that. I'm supposed to take that risk. So the police are going to arrest me because I went overboard, right? And let them arrest me. Do you guys not see what's happening? I do stories on this. I'm reading the news to you, and I'm showing you there is a clear pattern. It's a pattern, which means it's something that's repeating itself. Why in different places is now all of a sudden people doing ding dong ditch banging on your door to see if you're home when they're really scouting, but when they get caught, oh no, I'm doing a TikTok challenge and you're being racist because you think that I'm kicking in your door in the middle of the night because I'm trying to do something bad to you. Like this, you got a family, you have a family, you got dependents, you have people that depend on you to keep them safe and keep them alive. You're going to have to do better because they're coming. You don't know what day, you don't know when, but they're coming. These people they didn't even consider that they were coming. Maybe they didn't watch my content. Another security flaw. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on with another topic. I just need to sit down after this. Remember, America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.